Hello everybody. Today I want to show you how you are going to construct the body forms for your dragons. And for that I'm going to give you a couple of options based on what type of dragon you want to make, and hopefully everybody can come up with something that is at least a close approximation to what they have imagined their dragons to be. So first and foremost, you are going to be constructing your dragon bodies out of pinch pots. And the reason that we're doing that is because it's a very easy way to make a hollow form. And the way that we make a hollow form from pinch pots is that we create two pinch pots and then we join them edge to edge like this to create like a hollow coconut type form. Now, I've spoken to a number of you about the dragons that we have hanging in class, and several of you took some issue with the fact that all of the dragons have large bulbous bodies. So I want to just begin this demo with, or at least by stating that you can really manipulate the shapes of these bodies just by knowing what you want when you start making your pinch pots. So obviously I've made these pinch pots to be somewhat elongated and kind of pointed at their ends. And so when I put them together, they're going to be quite a bit less bulbous than the rounded sort of dragon that looks like it's eating a coconut type of dragons that we have flying around in the room right now. So just to sort of illustrate what exactly is required for this, you're going to make two pinch pots, and very much so unlike the pinch pots that you made for your teacups, you want to leave these pinch pots kind of thick. These are sculptures. They don't have to be thin, and they don't have to be handled. The weight of them is really not that much of a consideration. We are going to hang them, and so we don't want them to be solid for a variety of reasons, but I think that a hollow body like this, as long as they don't get to be too large, is fine. And everybody should, shoot for making your pinch pots, maybe about the size of your fist, something along those lines. But in order to get them together, you need to get a scoring tool. You're going to score all the way around the edge like this. Water, obviously. Score. Water. And then you are going to coax these two together to make one form. Now, I usually like to start with one edge and kind of gradually fix the edges around. And it probably shouldn't go without saying that the two pinch pots that I have made were the same in diameter. So in other words, the rim of one was not bigger or smaller than the rim of the other. So when I press them together, they fit, to make a nice, neat rim. And so I'm going to just kind of massage these together like this, and I'm gonna gently use the inside of my thumb like that to kind of coax one edge closer to another, because when you first put them together, you get quite a heavy seam between the two, and we want to try to eliminate that. So I'm going to use my hand. You guys might have just as much luck using one of the wooden tools to kind of smooth this down. If you have a very, very pronounced like cleft in between the two, you may have formed your pinch pots to be too closed at the opening, and it would really be easier for you to open that up and sort of reform your pinch pots. They should be widest at the mouth. They shouldn't sort of curve back and close where they open up, and be more like ball-like. So this is the beginning of one dragon example that I'll be doing for you guys and filming along the way. And at this point, I'm gonna set this to the side so that it can stiffen somewhat. The way I'm gonna do that, I'm not gonna set it down on a flat surface like this because it's gonna have a giant flat spot if I do that. So what I'm gonna do is utilize this coil that I've formed in kind of a donut. And what I want to do is kind of help create kind of like a nest for the dragon to rest in. And this is going to be how you put away your dragon sculptures almost every day. You're going to keep it on one of these donuts. And the way that we're going to have to do it to begin with is that you'll need to put a piece of paper in between the donut and the dragon. So it'll go like this and then rest like that. And then actually I should show you, they will be on a board like this so that it'll be board, donut, newspaper, dragon body. And then if and when I'm ready to put this away, grocery bag, try to make sure there's no significant holes in the grocery bag, and then it will just go in the bag, tied shut. Completely closed, name on some tape, and can be put away. Now, there's one other variation to this that I'd like to show you guys. A lot of people wanted to be able to do more serpentine looking dragons. And for those folks, I did have a conversation with a couple of people about different ways to do this. And several of those conversations were super productive and helpful, but I think that the easiest way to make a more elongated dragon body than having two pinch pots put together is to have 4 pinch pots put together, stacked on end. So these 2 pinch pots are eventually going to go together like this. And I'm not going to do that right now, because before I do that, I'm going to take these 2 pinch pots and add them to the ends of these others so that it all goes together like this, and you get a much longer dragon body that can be then just smoothed out, and then have a tail and a neck added to it like this. But in order to do that, you got to join these end pieces on first, okay? And I'm going to suggest trying to make the edges somewhat thin so that when they're added, it's less material to have to sort of smooth out. But I'm going to put one on top of the other, and that's going to give me a nice little extension of that body. And I'm going to mark where it's going to sit all the way around, and then I'm going to score extensively where it's going to sit. Add water. And then score it on the inside of this guy. Like that. Add some water. And then I can combine the two like this. And I'm not going to get super aggressive with putting these together just yet. And if you're going to go this route, you just have to keep in mind and remember that you've got an open airspace here and an open airspace in the middle. So let me get this other one put on. So these are obviously going to go together like this, but I can't do that just yet because they're soft, and I'm going to need to let these rest. So my suggestion is to either let them sit in class for at least half a class period to stiffen just like this, or wrap them to go and leave them on your board, you know, standing up like this, and then put them together end to end the next day. And then obviously when it comes time to do so, your donut for this will be more elongated than the ones for the other type of construction. So this is the goal for how to put dragon bodies together. And stay tuned for the next video. We'll be doing videos for this whole project that we will talk about texture and making appendages. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.